I am Gordon McGee, and this is the No Pills Podcast, Love Fully Scripted, and we have another one today. Online, mother of four, a wife. She goes by the name, she is a page turner, over 11 million views on across different social media platforms, telling the world why she was considering divorcing her husband. Let's find out if she had any good reasons. And of course, we are going to be contrasting and comparing this to the owner's manual. Let's get some.
I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school.
16 years. That's a long time, friends. Since high school. All right.
And on paper, I have an amazing husband.
Oh man, why does it always start this way? On paper, I have an amazing husband, but I was gonna divorce him. All right, let's get into it.
He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for?
What? Okay, wait. This doesn't sound like on paper. This sounds like in real life, my husband was all of these things. Present, helpful, loving, faithful. What does she mean by on paper? Like, no, this is real life. This is how he actually was to you, like, or is to you. Like, praise the Lord, praise God. I think there are many women that would kill for a husband like the one you just mentioned.
But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out.
All right, I'm sorry. The on paper is reality. So in reality, I have an excellent husband, but I needed more. That's what she should have said here. But I needed more. All this perfection I was getting was not enough. I think that's really what we're talking about, right? Let's say that.
From our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships.
Okay.
And then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us.
Okay, so you made a choice as husband and wife to have children. Now, she hasn't gotten this far along yet. We're going to find out if she's working or not working in and outside of the home. But I don't know, disproportionate when it comes to the kids. Yeah, if your husband is working outside of the home, then yes, as far as direct interaction with the children, you're going to have more of that because you would be home with them all day long, which she has not said that yet, or if that's the case at all. But just the stresses are different. Like, there are stresses and burnout outside of the home, right? Outside of the homemaking, outside of the folding the clothes, washing the kids. And I'll say this, not having children of my own, but having watched the little people, they can be quite tiresome. Yes, this is not being with the children all day. Man, let's keep it real. If you don't have a strict schedule, if you don't have a lot of discipline, you are in for a world of hurt and trouble. If you don't have a day planned out or your day planned out, they will run you. You will not run them. You will be in chaos and disorder. So that is what I'm speaking from experience, having been with the little people for over a day or two. You need discipline. You need to be in control, in charge. You need to be rested. And the list goes on. But if you are disorderly, if you do not have the plan, they will make one for you that they themselves will hate as little people. They will hate it when there's not order, when there's not set meal times and bedtimes. They will be cranky. They will be extra nasty. But this is a very depleting job. But that's not to say that being an oil rigger, a lawyer, doctor, sanitation worker, being in purchasing or there's stress outside of the home too. But let's let her go on. And so It's not easy being a mom and a dad and being a mother, right? I'm definitely not downplaying that, but you sign up for that when you become a mom and when you become a father.
About 3 months after my fourth baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more.
See, that's what I said. I need more.
I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home.
Hey, yo, this is her spazzing out, breaking down with the kids being in daycare, which means she's probably working. Like she's breaking down. Lord have mercy. What would she do if this was like Little House on the Prairie and she actually, you know what? I would almost argue she would probably be in a better place if she was home all day with the kids because she could be completely in control of their schedule and wouldn't have to make a switch from work, right? Employee, boss, subordinate, whatever she had going on at work, and then trying to flip the switch to come back to being mom. I just saying, let me know in the comments if you agree. Like that switch is not easy, right?
I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do, right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean.
This is not asking too much, men. Okay? I was married for almost 20 years. Get in there, help out. Like, I don't care what we have going on outside. Like, I was in charge of the wood, the fire, the snow removal, the lawn care, getting the garden in and all that. But I would come in and definitely help out in the kitchen, house, whatever. We both worked. My wife and I both worked. We didn't have any children. So I still felt some responsibility just because we're living in a mutual space, right? Like just so she wouldn't maybe experience burnout or feel unappreciated, or made to feel like, I was, too good or above cleaning. But there were some things that my wife would just do. But my point is like I would help out. And if my wife had children, if I had a wife now, right? Because my baby, my first wife, she passed away. If I had a wife now and we had children, let's just say, and she needed me to do the dishes every night and make sure that like, cool. Like, I think we have this, if she's out working, kids are going to daycare and we need to split some of the responsibility of raising and rearing our children and to make her life easier. I don't think this is too much to ask here. This should kind of almost go without saying, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt...
All right, so listen, you throw off what God designed when you both go out and work with children, just in general, period. So her frustration, her feeling disrespected, her feeling unheard, her feeling unseen is a byproduct of her now being in a masculine role. And now you have 2 people in the household in a masculine role. So a lot of this, let's just say if she was home all day, which was going on, she probably would not expect this of her husband who's working outside the home. She would handle the diaper bag. She would do the kids. She would have her morning routine. And then maybe she could still be asking, hey, before you leave in the morning, could you help me out and do this before you leave? And she might still feel the same way, like, hey, I want you to be present in the home and just not present at work, right? I get that. I think that's a valid request, a request that any other human being, especially if you've been married, you can understand. And if you're a woman, you can understand. If you're a good husband, you can understand, like, yeah, you don't want to feel your wife does not want to feel left, that she is just the only person that cares about the home, the family, the kids, and you're just like out living the best life, at work, and us, out freedom, socializing, and all that. So this is different, friends. And I think we have to realize, for whatever reason, it has driven and caused for both people to be outside of the home, both mom and dad outside of the home. This is going to come with some oddities, with some things you're going to have to adjust to. Her saying she felt disrespected is important. Her saying she's feeling unheard, unseen, very important. And men should not overlook that. Husbands should not overlook that by saying, well, hey, I work. Hey, I'm providing. I'm outside of the home, especially if you and her, both of you are working, right? So again, we are in this whole modern world wanting some traditional outcomes, wanting to feel seen, validated. And it's like now you have to have the discussion about what does meeting in the middle look like when you're not in traditional roles, if that makes sense. Who puts the wipes in the bag? Who cares about the baby bag? I think also too, when we talk about traditional gender roles and expectations, not that a father is not willing to do those type of things, but I think I've seen this vary with men. Some men feel like super inadequate, and meanwhile there are some fathers now who are raising kids on their own. They do all these things without any problems. I think it's a discussion. I think for some people it's training, it's routine, because the single fathers are getting this done all the time. They're learning how to do their daughter's hair. They're learning how to pack bags. Fathers are doing it. Just single fathers are doing it. So this is definitely about in your household and what you value as important and not important. Is this worthy of divorce? No. But I do understand the frustrations of the wife in a marriage where she does not feel heard or appreciated, or you're not helping out. It's real.
I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he didn't.
Okay, this is foolish thinking. What's the point of doing this? I just do it alone. No, your husband is still bringing value. You just said that he's present, he was there, he's loving you, he's faithful. Like, he's not doing the dishes, he's not helping out in the ways you would like him to help out right now at this moment. But if you get rid of him, then you're doing it all alone. And that's the very thing you're complaining about. Am I going crazy? She's complaining about her husband not helping out where she wants him to help out. And so in those moments, I guess she's feeling like, it's just me, I'm feeling unheard, I'm feeling alone. And you know what my rationale, my response is going to be? You know what? I'm just going to really be alone. So I'm going to lose all the good things that you're providing and giving and contributing to our relationship and our family. And now I'm just going to do it alone, mess the kids up. Ladies, we've got to do better with this thinking. We need to be more patient. And I think both male and female need to be willing to married couples need to be willing to make more changes more quickly, right? And not put these things off and not just render lip service, but actually commit to doing it. So I hear her frustration, but the devil does this, man. Get divorced. Like, you should never threaten your partner with divorce. There's only one reason, per the owner's manual. There's one reason, and maybe some common sense when it comes to abuse, to separate, like only for sexual infidelity. Like, that's the only reason. So because you're frustrated, you chose to marry this person, you chose to have these children, you chose to have 4 children, and now things are not going the way you like them to go, and let's put our hands up and let's do it all ourselves. Like, no, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labors. And if they fall, the one will help up his fellow. But woe unto him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up.
To me, and it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic It doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here.
What is she talking about? The bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is... Okay, so let me try to... I think she may be saying like the expectation for involvement with the children, right? Dad's got to go to work and then he's not really expected to do as much for the children and with the children as the mother is. If that is out there, and I think maybe that does exist, especially coming from a real strict, heavy leaning traditional roles, I'm going to call it maybe even unhealthy. That's dumb. That's not a father. Okay. The expectations I have on the father and the dad is more than the mother, because I'm expecting the dad to go out all day, provide work, and then come home, not have an attitude, wrestle with his kids, hug his wife, spend time with her, give her time to sit down and vent and tell you about her day, and then control yourself to not want to just tackle her sexually, but let her just pour out, let the kids pour out. Like, fathers have to do more than the mom in a traditional role. Has to be the priest of the home, leading his family in prayer, making sure everybody's all right, having and then being ready to help in, like, okay, let me do the dishes tonight, babe, to help you out. Like, that's how I see the role of a father, a priest, a provider, protector. You know what I mean? Like, locking the doors, so I think she may be right as far as what modern society has done. When you think about like what you see on television, and men are made to look dumb, men don't care, they're not present. You know, this whole feminist agenda. And while there are men like that exist, that only care about their sports and their football, can care less what's happening to the kids and to the wife, these men exist. We see you, do better. Shame on you. But I would not paint a broad brush and say this is all men and that mom's expectations are up here and dad's expectations are down here. I do believe what she's saying, other women, there is a whole group within society that thinks this way in the Western world, for sure.
And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family, despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky.
Okay, wait. If you have children as a woman, you've agreed to fall into the role of a mom. You've agreed to fall into the role of a father.
And I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy.
But I was willing to divorce, thinking about divorcing him. I'm not beating her up for this. I know, look, marriage gets tough. I've been there. You want to leave, but just saying.
And was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine.
I would have loved for her husband to be present in this video. We are happier than we've ever been, or is she happier than she's ever been? I just wonder. If her husband were to get online, would he say the same thing? Or would he feel like he had to give more in order to satisfy his wife? Just curious.
And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that?
But we both decided for you to work outside the home, right? So the discussion has to look differently now. Like, this is well, maybe she didn't want to. For whatever reason, the mother, the wife is outside the home working too. And we've got somebody else raising the kids most of the day. Like, I just think there could be more grace here. Not to say she didn't have any grace at all. Obviously, they're still together. They're still married. Praise the Lord for that. But like, you're already swimming upstream by having somebody else raise your kids. And you going to be a boss babe all day and then trying to come home and be a mom. And now you feel like, well, we both should be splitting these chores and doing everything equally because we've decided. And listen, and maybe there's some truth to that, but I don't like, are you changing the car oil? Are you getting the wood for the house? Are you keeping it? Are you fixing the roof? Like, so, I mean, this is, and like every relationship is going to be different, right? And maybe all that is being done just with money, and you're paying people to get all that things done. And then now we're just talking about, we want to split all the duties within the home with the children. But I don't know if there's ever a time for there to be a divorce. There's no time for there to be a divorce in that situation. This is just communication. It's just working it out.
What does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do.
What data? What data says that? They just do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry.
They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right?
Okay, listen. If you if your wife is working and you're out running marathons, you're out playing golf, leaving your wife alone home with the children. All right, that's crazy. That's foul. That's wild to me, right? But many ethnicities, men do the cooking. Like it varies from home to home. Like African American homes, dads are the cookers sometimes. Italians, men cook. They're bakers. I mean, so I don't. Maybe this is more of a North American. And her husband doesn't sound this way. I got a husband that's in front of the TV. All he does is watch sports and games and wants to eat chips and drink beer. Like, all right, maybe that guy. But it's like disproportionate. Women do more in the home. I don't know if that's. There are men, obviously, that some men that think that way. You know, maybe from the, do this whole thing like, oh, I can't figure that out. I couldn't. But it's like I think these are a subset, maybe outlier. I don't know. This is men. You know what I mean? So it's not women. And again, I want to reemphasize, you are in a relationship that is not traditional because you as the wife are also working. And you are getting help via the childcare. So you're only with the kids a couple hours every day anyway. Like, that's the reality. So it's like, okay, just do the laundry. And okay, let me say this. She mentioned this earlier, and men, I want to touch on this. Having to ask you to do it. This is the real problem, okay? This is the real problem. Being married as long as I was, this is the real problem. Women want you, most people want you to do it because you are present, because you're plugged in, because you're aware of what's going on. It's like, oh yeah, the trash needs to be taken out. That whole thing is weird. Like, I just feel like men, at least how my thought process was, I just always took out the trash. I always dealt with the trash. I didn't want my wife dealing with the trash. You know? Maybe it's a little shivers thing. I got to say, hey, you don't have to deal with the trash. I'll bring the trash out. Or, even I remember in my household, my grandfather was alive. My grandmother, he was retired by this time though. But I think even before he was retired, if my grandmother did cooking, he did the dishes. That's how he contributed in the household. So I've seen various different things modeled in my life from different relationships. So it's not this cookie cutter, everyone's the same. But when a woman is saying, hey, why do I have to tell you to take out the trash? Why do I have to tell you to pack the diaper bag? Why do I have to tell you to care what's going on? Listen, the male mind and the female mind are different. They're not even concerned with the same things. They don't see problems and solutions the same way. We don't even value things the same on levels of importance, right? In most male minds, it's like, hey, mortgage, number one. Roof over your head, clothes on your back, food, number one. Me getting up, getting to work, not getting fired, number one on my list. And the woman's like, hey, we just had some babies. You need to get in here. And so it's a discussion, right? And maybe it doesn't go the way you want it to go the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, but you stick it out. Men that have time for marathons and golfing, yeah, that's a whole nother discussion I think we need to have.
And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. Mm-hmm. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience. And
Definitely not the only person tempted to overreact. Not that she did overreact, but tempted to overreact. All her feelings, all her observations, I believe valid. Not one of them I don't think is valid. But the response, little overkill. Just not well thought out, because you're going to end up being alone anyway.
I want people to know that there's hope, and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
So here's what I want to say. I have found in my experience that the change that was needed in my marriage came from God. From me personally getting along with God, praying, talking to him, reading my Bible, wanting to be a godly man, wanting to be a good leader in my home, and the Holy Ghost being able to get a hold of my heart and soften me. Why am I saying that to you? Because it can be frustrating if you think it is your job and your role to change someone. I think it's good to set your expectations, to set your boundaries and say, hey, I find this to be disrespectful. I find this not to be considerate, and this needs to change. But I would not put the full responsibility upon yourself to change another human being, even if it's your spouse. You need divine intervention, or maybe even some intervention. Some people have a lot of success with counseling. I would even suggest a Christian counselor, but this is, I'm coming out of the owner's manual. So I just think that some people will walk away from this clip, the 11 million plus people who have seen this online, and they may walk away thinking like, yeah, I have to change my husband. It comes off like, yeah, I had the hard conversations. I was a driving force. I got my husband to give me what I needed. She didn't mention anything that her husband might have needed, which is kind of weird. Like, did he not need anything? Did he not need anything more? Was he, I just wonder, right? But it was from only the female mother perspective. For those of you who are curious, just so we're clear here at Love Fully Scripted, the owner's manual lets us know that divorce was permitted in the Old Testament, Deuteronomy 24 verses 1 through 4. There was some reasons given, which were kind of a little loosey-goosey. If there was some indecency found in your wife, you were permitted to divorce her, but you could not remarry her if she went out and got remarried. So divorce was permitted in the Old Testament. But interestingly enough, when you get to the last book of the Old Testament, in the book of Malachi, and you go to chapter 2, verses 14 through 16, God straight out just says, I hate divorce. Yes, he did, friends. So that is the ideal. No divorce, no divorcees, no divorcing. God hates it. And I would say that is still true for today. And when Jesus was on the scene in the New Testament, he was asked about divorce and saying, well, isn't divorce legal? Didn't Moses give them divorce? And he goes, listen, it was not so in the beginning. God made them male and female, one man, one woman, one flesh. And they become one flesh, to never be separated until death do them part. That is the ideal. Now, with some common sense, we oftentimes make the application, if you are getting abused, you need to get out of there. And as I always recommend here on this channel, separate, try to get the help you need until the abuser either gets their act together through the help of the Holy Spirit, or they step out on you and cheat and go about their business and live their life. Also, you cannot make a person stay with you, all right? We get this over in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Let a person leave if they want to leave. If someone does not want to be married to you, you cannot force them to be married to you. But if there is going to be a separation, separate and do not get remarried to anybody else, but try to be reconciled to the person that you are married to. You can find that in 1 Corinthians 7, chapter 7. Read the whole chapter, friends, because you need it. It's good stuff. You can see Jesus talking about divorce in Matthew 5, verses 31 to 32, Matthew 19, 3 through 9, Mark 10, verses 2 through 12, Luke 16, verse 18. Friends, I am Gordon McGee. This is the No Pills Podcast, Love Fully Scripted, and I am signing off, and I will catch you next week.